Dinoblade. This game has a parry, so it makes it into parry review. So you press the block button at the last second and that's how you parry. It's a perfect block. There is no direct counterattack. I mean, you can do a light attack quickly after your perfect block, but there is no like official counterattack. You're not gonna see me do it here, but if you turn your back to the enemy and you block, you will take damage. So do not turn your back to enemy attacks. In this game, you attack wherever your right stick is aiming. So if you try to look in another direction that is not towards the enemy, you will attack in that direction. So you always have to be looking at the enemy. And the game will ensure that you're always looking at the enemy, because even when you're locked off an enemy, as soon as you attempt to attack, you will lock on to the enemy. I consider this a problem. The game should stop forcing you to force lock on to enemies each and every time you attack. There is a lock on button and it works perfectly fine. It's the right joystick. You click it and you lock on. I was gonna give this game a high score, even for a demo, because it is such a cool concept. Like dinosaurs with blades, I love it. But this game has a fatal flaw, which we'll see in like the last 2 minutes of this video, and that fatal flaw is that you can only parry enemies, regular enemies, and not bosses. So you can parry regular enemies, elite enemies, but as soon as an enemy qualifies as a boss, you cannot parry him. You cannot even block their attacks, so it becomes a dodge fest. And I get it, you know, I know it's a way of respecting the boss and diversifying the core game mechanics, but dude, such a flaw, such a major drawback. Just make it so that when I parry the boss, he doesn't get staggered. That's it, that's all you have to do. For enemies that you can parry, when you do parry them, you slowly whittle away at their posture. So that's great. And same as attacking. When you attack an enemy, it also depletes their posture, as well as doing direct damage to their health bar. But you're going to see right now, I'm going to show you right after this, we're going to see the boss fight, and you're going to see that I never even attempt to parry him, because I died to him so many times attempting to parry, until one of the game menu tips says like, oh, by the way, you cannot parry, you cannot block boss attacks. And I'm like, what? And I was confused because this guy, Kasei the Tyrant, has a health bar, and I thought, but the other big dinosaurs I fought, they had health bars as well, and I could parry them. And so then I kind of realized, you know, I came to the conclusion that, you know, them having a health bar just means that they're an elite enemy and not a regular enemy. Turns out that the boss in this demo is Kasei the Tyrant, and, you know, this is like the enemy that you cannot parry in this demo. I don't know what happens after this in the demo, because I was just so crestfallen that you cannot parry the boss, that the game went from being great to me being immediately disappointed as soon as I realized that you cannot parry this boss. So I already dropped this game. Oh, here's another thing. If you go into the menu and you try to remap the buttons either for keyboard or for controller, don't do that, because then you can make a permanent change that you cannot go back on. So the keys will say something like any, which is equivalent to null. So you're essentially rendering your buttons inert. So do not try to remap buttons or keys in this game. Even if you do it in the options menu or whatever, just don't even try it. You're gonna basically soft lock yourself out of being able to navigate the menu, which isn't that big of a deal. This is a demo, and if you do happen to do that, just go to like find the save file and delete it. It's gonna be in users local low. If you use a Windows, it's gonna be in your C drive, users local low. Okay, so let's give this game a rating. I don't know, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Really, that thing that you can't parry the boss, it really like kicked me right in the nuts. Kicked me right in the nuts. You can't do that to the parry man. You can't do that to the lowhound. I love to parry, and while I wait for 2026 for Onimusha to release, I gotta tell you, friend, I really want to parry in these other games that I play as I wait. But whatever, I don't, I'm thinking hopefully that the devs will fix this for the main game, but I don't feel that they will. This feels like a very core game mechanic. It's in the loading screen tips. Whenever you're loading and you see the little tips in the bottom of the screen, one of those tips says you cannot parry the boss. So if the developers went out of their way to make it a game mechanic and then put it in the tips, it's like official. But really, the developers are shooting themselves in the foot by leaving this mechanic of not being able to parry boss attacks. What they should do is you can't block boss attacks, but you can only parry them or dodge them, because there's no perfect dodge either. And this thing where you can only attack in the direction where you're looking at is another flaw. Enemies will gang up on you, mobs will surround you, and you will only be able to look at one enemy because you always auto-lock whenever you attack. So they need to remove the auto-lock. They need to let me attack in any direction, not just the direction I'm looking at, and they need to let me parry the boss. Those are the 3 major flaws of this game. So thanks for watching, take care, and enjoy.